Hello and welcome everybody, it's Rose Smith here from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you for joining me for the May 2023 horoscopes. Well, I must confess up front that I did think this was going to be a quieter month, and so I didn't realise that there's actually a lunar eclipse going on the 5th of the month. So it's in Scorpio, so this is actually going to be quite intense. So I apologise that I haven't included that in your individual star signs, but it actually fits in perfectly with everything else that I've described. And you can just add it as another confirmation that this month for everybody is really a time of dramatic and innovative transformation on an inner level, okay? Because we're going to have all manner of emotions and stuff from our subconscious dredged up, especially in the first week of the month, okay? So I'll come to that, I'll describe that in depth very shortly. But if you are new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell right now. And don't forget to click the links below to go to your individual star sign to get the full picture of what's happening with various other influences. There's also, if you watch, this is for your sun sign, but if you watch your moon sign and your rising sign, you'll get an even more complete picture of what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to put on something so you don't have to watch me all of the time, and I'll talk about, first I'm going to do this intro video talking about all of the influences and their general effects. Okay, so the first thing to note is that on the 1st of May, Pluto will be going retrograde, but of course it's not like an off-on switch where it's bingo, oh, it's 1 minute past midnight on the 1st of May, now Pluto's retrograde. No, it's a case of the energies rolling into a retrograde and rolling out of a retrograde, okay? It's not a hard-on, fast sort of thing. However, Pluto will be retrograde in Aquarius and Capricorn until the 10th of October 2023. And this is likely to be a time of inner transformation with a great need for self-reflection, okay? It's a time to innovate, update and renovate our subconscious. So there's a transformation going in within. It's a great time to diarise all of your feelings and what is actually going on in your life. Do some breath work, even if it's something simple like take 5 breaths one after the other and imagine you're really filling up your lungs and your belly as much as you can and sort of let the air out, and then you could imagine your belly becoming flatter, and do that 5 times. And on the 5th breath, hold the in breath and let it out slowly, and then hold the out breath when you've got no oxygen in your body, it feels like. And you do them in sets. You might start off just doing 1 set or 2 or 3 or 4. That's what I've been doing. And you'll know if you feel a bit dizzy or lightheaded not to push it, but you're actually making progress then. On the 5th of the month, the penumbral lunar eclipse in Scorpio happens, and this is when the moon is in the Earth's shadow. So if you think about that, it's like the physical material world, materialism, becomes more important in a sense. That's what it appears like to us. So the moon is in the Earth's shadow. Basically, the feminine, the receptivity becomes sort of less focused, and material things can become more focused. And because with the lunar eclipse, the effects can be felt for months. So it can happen, you start feeling the effects of the eclipse before the 5th of May, and then you can feel it after the 5th of May. And this is basically when we're being invited to look at our deepest feelings, our deepest emotions, look at things like feeling fearful or having doubt, hidden secrets, because that's Scorpio. Scorpio has secrets sometimes. Sometimes it might be a sense of feeling overwhelmed. And even though at the time I'm doing this, it's still nearly 3 weeks away, I can sort of get a sense of that, so it'll be different for different people, but things down there in your subconscious will be activating now. On the 7th of May, however, there is a change when Venus enters Cancer, and this brings additional sensitivity but it also brings a time of love and affection and peace, and that's what you're needing. You're needing the sense of harmony in your life, perhaps. And if you're not getting harmony, you're not getting peace or love, your moods may fluctuate. You might feel a bit sad. Maybe it's a good time to practice nurturing yourself and other people. If you can find time out in a beautiful environment that can help you, whether that be your home or in nature or at work or somewhere, try to associate with calm, peaceful people. On the 14th of May, Mercury is in Taurus. It turns direct, and for about a week after the 14th, it's in what's called the shadow period. So, as I said to you before, with retrogrades, they don't just flick on and off like a switch. It's a rolling sort of effect. So gradually, Mercury starts to speed up across the night sky. If we could see Mercury, and we probably can't because it's too small, you need a telescope, but it would appear to be going faster. And so too our sense of timing and what's happening in our own life. We get a sense of things speeding up and accomplishing more. We feel like we're moving again, and that's a good thing. Jupiter enters Taurus on the 16th of the 5th, and on the 17th of the 5th it squares Pluto. Now, entering Taurus can bring some real physical consequences, and they're usually like positive, because Jupiter is generally very optimistic and positive, and so these consequences, these concrete manifestations, are usually very welcome. However, Jupiter squaring Pluto, now if you're going to have a square, Jupiter is the planet to have a square with, because squares are a bit notorious for being challenging and creating struggles in your life. But Jupiter brings a lot of good luck and also that optimism, and it brings probably overconfidence. But square Pluto, it's not bringing so much confidence. That's being knocked down a peg or two. However, there is a possibility that it could bring up things like addictions or manipulations or hidden dark things that we've pushed down. It's quite entirely possible that these could be brought up to the surface of our minds. However, as I said, Jupiter, it brings good luck and positivity. So even if you become aware of addictions that you're not happy about, Jupiter will help you to overcome those addictions. Sometimes it can bring up things like death. You might have memories of somebody who died. It can bring up things about manipulation and being controlled by other people too. So do look for that. Sometimes there are struggles. I'm not going to say that it's all rosy, but if you're going to have a square, Jupiter's the one to have a square with, basically. On the May the 19th, the new moon in Taurus as well. So you can see there's a lot happening in Taurus, bringing real physical consequences to our lives, making things like structure or reliability, honesty, integrity, making these more important. Okay, and the new moon there brings a new beginning, a new start, a new cycle into your life. And then on the 20th, we have Mars entering Leo, and that brings a ton of energy. And Mars in Leo sometimes can be quite stubborn and unyielding. So try to watch that, especially if you're an Aries or if you are a Leo. Try to, make sure that you're not as stubborn as you possibly could be. But yeah, especially those two signs, but really for everyone, there's going to be more energy in that part of your life where Leo is. So do check your horoscope link below to find out where that is. Finally, on the 21st of May, the Sun enters Gemini. So happy birthday to all Geminis. And this brings a lot of awareness and insight around our communications. It's also the ability to be quite witty, to be humorous. It brings a lot of new ideas. We could become somewhat more intellectual. We could be reading more, learning more, and all of those good things that go with Gemini, who is actually ruled by Mercury. So that ability to communicate is super important, and the sun is going to bless that with a lot of insight and awareness. So this is the overview. Don't forget, check your sun sign, your moon sign and your rising sign. Click the links below. Have a wonderful month, everyone, and I will see you again soon. Thanks and bye for now. Hello, awesome Aries. I'm here with your May horoscope. It's a little bit quieter, thankfully. Okay, let's go to the board now and see what we can see. First thing we're going to do is draw the cards because I like to have a little vision and get an overall theme or two for you for the month of May. So there's a lot of pastel colours here I can see in spirit around you. So some sort of brightness coming into your life. It's not over the top brightness, I must confess, and it's swirling and changing and moving, but just enjoy the little sweet reminders of spirit. Two cards just come out as I'm talking. The King of Pentacles, some relief around a financial situation. This energy is very, very astute with business and with money. And it's time to have some relaxation and enjoy the harvest of your labours. There's a lot of intuition going on here. See this aubergine colour, because aubergine is such a cool colour. And it's about the third eye and the crown chakra. And this fits in perfectly with your astrology, your horoscope for the month, because it is all about having time out and having some self-reflection, some personal development. But King of Pentacles will help you do that because you won't be worried or as worried about finances as usual. The other card that comes up is the Six of Wands. This is about accolades and rewards for your work and for your inspiration and creativity. So the two do fit nicely together. Green and blue, you know, I love green and blue together. We were told at school that blue and green shouldn't be seen unless there's a colour in between, which is such a load of rubbish. They did really try to fill our heads full of rubbish in those days. I guess it still goes on. This is all about receiving recognition and approval for your creativity. So that's the first half of the month. So bear those in mind. And now the second half of the month, you can't even see her. Hopefully you can see her now. All right, now the second half of the month, what do I see for awesome Aries? The gears, the mechanical gears are going around and round. So there's movement here. Things, you know, it's not great speed or anything, but there is movement and there is change. And that's good because that also fits in with your horoscope. The card that comes up is the Seven of Cups. Sometimes this is about competition, but sometimes it's about reaching out for attainment and success. You know, whenever we're going for anything, it's like a mountain to climb. It's not all smooth sailing as we climb the mountain, and different areas of your life that can be affected. But keep on striving because you'll get there. Success will come to you if you keep on doing what you're doing. Okay, so there are your cards. Let's go and make this bigger now so you can see the horoscope more easily. Okay, hopefully, they don't all fit on, do they? I'll put this one over here and bear these cards in mind. Now, it's an interesting month because it is quieter, but we do have Pluto retrograde, which goes retrograde every year. It's not, you know, a big deal, but what it means is that there's a lot of inner transformation going on. This is a good thing. It's time for self-reflection. Remember I was saying with these cards, time for self-reflection, look within, innovate and transform from within. Pay attention to your dreams, to the little flashes you have in the daytime, because you're being upgraded now. You're being renovated, so to speak. And for you, Aries, it's here in your house of friends, groups and associations, and also your hopes and dreams. So Pluto in Aquarius retrograde, and so you might find some sort of transformation going on with your friends or the people that you know, maybe. And because Pluto is about the cycle of birth, death and rebirth, maybe you might decide to let some friends go or some associations go to make space for new people to come into your life. But also the same with your hopes and dreams. You might give up on some hopes and dreams and just think that you're being unrealistic and had your head in the clouds. Sometimes we all do that from time to time. And I guess the wisdom is in knowing when to let go of those hopes and dreams so that you can replace them with ones that you can actually do, ones that you can actually pull off. Now on the 5th, it's a full moon in Scorpio here, and that's going to be conjunct. When that comes in, I didn't have space there because the node, the south node, is here at 3 degrees, just into the 8th house. But these are going to be conjunct. The south node is sort of your tradition, your history, and the moon is going to bring up, dredge up stuff out of your subconscious about your past, about being stable and not moving forward in some way. And you have to deal with that so you can move forward, because we're being always called not to get too overly comfortable with our life because, we need to always be adding change and growth into our life in some way. It could bring some sort of intense inner healing, and we're being invited basically to face our deepest emotions, to look at our deepest fears and doubts, and perhaps even hidden secrets. And these could all relate to shared resources, taxes, superannuation, wills, death, and fun things like that, even intimacy. It's something that you share with somebody else, so maybe an inheritance, for example. So whatever your fear is, try and work out what your fear is and then face it in your mind, and that will take the sting out of the fear. Because a lot of the time we spend in fear of something that never even happens, okay? So look at it. The 7th sees Venus entering Cancer down here, and Venus is going into your 4th house of home and family. There's likely to be a very affectionate sort of energy, love, peace. And if you're not getting this at home or with your family, you could feel somewhat moody or sad, and your emotions could fluctuate. If you're not getting it at home, the first thing I would say is get it from within yourself. But you may also decide that you want some new friends that can support you going back up here to the 11th house. Okay, so it's a time when you need a stable and a beautiful environment. Nurture yourself and your relationships. On the 14th of May, Mercury is turning direct, yay, because it's been retrograde and it's in Taurus down here. And so you might find a sense of moving forward with regard to finances, your possessions, or maybe the things that you value. Okay, so I guess so far the theme that's coming up for you, dear Aries, is one of movement. Okay, keep reaching out, keep moving forward and trying to attain the goals that you want to attain. Okay, spiritual success can lead to physical success. On the 16th, we'll also have Jupiter here moving forward into Taurus, bringing a lot of growth and development and expansion around your money, your possessions, and the things that you believe in. And you might find that you feel a sense of relief when this happens. Okay, things improve for the better. On the 17th, Jupiter is squaring Pluto up here, however, and this is going to bring a tough aspect, which is a little bit of a struggle, perhaps, but I should say it's one of the rare occasions with Jupiter. When Jupiter squares, it's not as bad as what it is with the other planets. So you might find that you have more confidence around dealing with transformative issues to do with your money. Okay, you might finally see a way forward, a way through where you can, if you're having financial difficulties, you can get out of it. Jupiter will help you. Pluto wants to do this circular cycle motion thing of life, death, rebirth, and the phoenix is reborn. You could go back to something you used to do where you used to make money, for example. Okay, so even though it's a square aspect, it's actually not a bad outcome at all. May 19th sees a new moon in Taurus, bringing new beginnings and new starts around your finances. And it's like a birth of something, So again, finances, possessions. You might buy some new things, a new car, for example, new things that you need or that you want even, and your relationship to money improves. May 20th sees Mars entering Leo over here in your house of creativity. You could be filled with a surge of desire or a surge of ambition around your creativity, around leisure and pleasure. And that came up before about, enjoy the harvest. Enjoy the harvest. Go on. It may cost you some money to do it. Maybe you want to go on a cruise or something. But also romance as well. And the world of the inner child. It's about making your inner child happier. Okay, because whatever money you've got, you can't take it with you, of course. And then on May 21st, we have the Sun entering Gemini here, bringing a lot of insight and awareness around your communications and also your intellectual realms, the mental realms, a lot of thoughts. Maybe you're thinking about studying perhaps, or you may do that either formally or on your own. But it's a time of learning. It's a time of dealing with siblings perhaps that you've lost contact with or they're a bit distant. And a great time for indulging in little trips around your local area, chatting to the neighbours and that sort of thing. Alrighty, that's it. Don't forget to check out your moon sign and also your ascendant. Have a fabulous month, everyone. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, terrific Taurus. I've got your May horoscope here. A little bit quieter this month, and it is quite important that we have some time for inner reflection. Look at what's going on within. Let's go to the board now. Okay, here's your horoscope. But the first thing we're going to do is draw these two tarot cards, which will be theme cards for the month for you. Okay, so closing my eyes now. I see a loudspeaker in front of me. This suggests that Spirit really has an important message that they've been trying to get through to you. Maybe it's for a little while, but for some reason you haven't been able to pick it up. Let's hope you can pick it up during this video today, that you actually get it. The card that comes up is the King of Pentacles. Interestingly, Aries also had this card. It's about being really responsible with your money and then enjoying the harvest. Okay, time for some R&R, have some time out. It's important that you pay attention to what's going on within. Look within, because this aubergine colour is about the third eye, okay, here in the middle of your forehead, and looking within and seeing what is actually going on with your emotions and with your subconscious. You could meet someone like this. It's probably somebody who's a bit well off or fairly comfortable at least, and they have a degree of wisdom that they can impart to you. There's an important message there. Just something I noticed that I've never noticed before is he has this gold fabric over his right shoulder. So the logical, analytical information that he gives you is really quite good. It's of a high vibration. It's going to help you in some way. There's a pile of money down the bottom here as well. So your finances might become the focus. But let's have a look and see what happens in the reading today. Okay. But you could meet someone like this, or alternatively, you could find this energy in yourself. Let's have a look at the second half of the month now. What do I see for you, terrific Taurus, ruled by Venus? Right, okay, going round and round in circles here. And what's that? Where she stops, nobody knows. What's that? Ring a rosy, a pocket full of posies, something. Let me know in the comments. I don't remember where she stops. I can't remember it. Something we used to say at school, okay. It actually came initially cheerfully to do with the bubonic plague, okay. The ring a rosies they used to put on the dead people, I think, or something like that. So I don't think it's to do with that. I think it's more to do with going around in circles, and perhaps there's a bit of a pattern or a cycle here that you can break. The card that comes up is the Ace of Wands. This is fabulous. It's a new beginning. You'll see there's a crown here with, I don't know if you can see that on your monitor or on your phone, but lots of little green buds, green leaves here for new growth. A mountain in the background brings challenges to be overcome, but a new cycle of feeling very motivated and feeling very creative. Spirit is literally giving you a hand to improve your creativity and that fiery spiritual essence that flows through us all. Okay, so that's lovely. That's card number 2, the second half of the month. Now let's have a look at your horoscope. I'll just make this a bit bigger. And you can see here, there's a big focus here in your first house. The sun is here until later on in the month. So happy birthday to you, dear Taurus. And it's a time when there's a lot of energy for you to come out of your shell and approach the world. This could involve your identity or perhaps even your appearance. You could buy new clothes. There's something here I'm getting psychically about cleaning out your wardrobe, getting new storage for your clothes. I've also got some sort of compression feeling in the right lung. It's like it may have been held back by the masculine force, perhaps men. It could be a woman that may have held you back, a particularly strict mother, or a woman who is got some very strong masculine traits. But I've got this compressive sort of feeling on the right lung, which is like your life force has been restrained or limited in some way. That can come off because all of these planets here, and the North Node is saying that your destiny, your future is going to be about getting your message out into the world in some form, and how you can do that creatively, okay? Other people are probably likely involved as well. Jupiter also goes in here. There's a new moon in here. I'll talk about this in a moment. The Sun, Mercury, and Uranus. So it could be something unpredictable. It could be something that is quite volatile, something that you didn't expect, and you'll see an opportunity and you can grab it. So this is really good news as you begin a new cycle. Another year is starting for you. Okay, so the first thing to note, on the 1st of May, Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius up here in Capricorn, okay? And so this is going to bring real physical structure to the inner transformation that's going on in your life right now, okay? Something's going to come of this that's going to affect your whole life over the next year. So this is good news. And so it's time for innovation and to transform the inner you, which is then going to show in your outside world. The 5th of May sees a full moon in Scorpio, shaking things up in your house of significant relationships, legalities and open enemies. That's the old-fashioned term. It's the people that you don't get on with. What's going to happen is, because you're transforming yourself, the people that know you, including your important partners, business or personal, those people you don't get on with, or any legalities that you may or may not have, they're going to have problems adapting to the new you. We've also got the South Node here, so when the moon goes into the 7th house, they're going to be conjunct for a couple of days, and it's like tradition and the past is trying to keep you in a certain mould. The moon will carry on though, of course, because it moves very quickly and it only spends a couple of days in each house, and it won't be conjunct very long. So just be careful around the 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, for arguments with significant others. But transformation is the name of the game for you. And you're being invited, maybe even bring it up with a significant other, because these changes are going on. Say what your feelings are, and how you feel about different things. The 7th sees Venus entering Cancer down here, and this is going to bring a beautiful harmonious tone to your communications and your thoughts with your friends, with the people you study with the people that you associate with in your local area, and perhaps with distant family members such as siblings or cousins. And so you just might find that your life associated with your general environment is going more smoothly. On the 14th, you'll see that Mercury is already in Taurus up here, and it has been retrograde, and it turns direct on the 14th. So this also gives a sense of moving forward, because Mercury is about travel, and it's now if you look at the sky and you could see Mercury, it's pretty small, you need a telescope, but if you could see Mercury, you would actually see it moving forward in the night sky. And so this improves your communications. There's less chance of misunderstandings or miscommunications. Now it's turned direct. If you've been holding off signing some legal contracts or something like that, now you feel in a much better position to do it after Mercury turns direct and the moon moves away. So on the 14th, that would be fine any time after that. It's still in shadow period for probably 5 days, so just pay attention to that. And if you do sign anything between the 14th and the 20th, it still might be subject to revision, okay? The 16th of the month sees Jupiter entering Taurus here. This little party going on, all about you in your sign. Jupiter brings more confidence. It brings a larger, bigger energy. It's like your personality could become bigger or more expansive in some way. This house also rules your physical body, so your body could become bigger in some way. So do watch, the unnecessary consumption of sugar and carbohydrates, because with Jupiter there, it's possible. A weight gain is possible. Okay, just letting you know. 17th sees Jupiter squaring Pluto. Now, when you think about a square, it's often a difficult sort of challenge. However, in the case of Jupiter, it's the least difficult of all the planets. And it could, if anything, bring you, the only possible downfall really is it could bring you overconfidence about the transformation that you're going through. It's good to be confident. Sometimes when you're dealing with Pluto, it can feel scary because you don't know what's really going to happen. But Jupiter has this way of bringing good luck, and it's a very beneficial planet. So you may feel much better and not as nervous or, doubting yourself as usual. So that's a good thing. On May 19th, the new moon here, as I mentioned before, bringing a new beginning that's quite substantial because it's in Taurus, in your sign, likely to bring some sort of level of reliability or some sort of level of sense of luxury or beauty because you're ruled by Venus, okay? And some peace as well, which is always good. On the 20th, Mars enters Leo down here. You could be filled with drive and ambition around your home and family. Maybe you want to do some sort of renovations. It's a great time for gardening, actually getting out and doing some sort of energetic activity in your garden or around the home. Maybe you're going to do some renovations. Just be a little cautious. Sometimes Mars can cause accidents especially if you're using tools and things. So just, think before you actually, start shoveling dirt, because you'll feel like you want to get the job done and you'll feel more energetic and you go for it. But if you've got any sort of physical complaints or health issues, then you might hurt your back or you might slip and fall or something. Be careful with Mars, that Mars energy, because it sort of tricks you into thinking that you can do anything. And do be careful with arguments with family members, but yeah, you can really achieve a lot. Then we have on the 21st, Sun going into Gemini here, bringing a lot of insight and awareness around your finances, which is good news for you. There's comfort and stability as well. All right, so that's it. Terrific, Taurus. Have a wonderful month. I know you will. I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to check your moon and rising signs. Bye for now. Hello, gorgeous Gemini. Okay, we've got your May horoscope here, and it's particularly significant for you. All of the star signs basically are going through a period of inner transformation, but it's significant for you because you have so much going on in the 12th house, and this suggests that it's a great time to take time out so that you can look at what's going on within. Alrighty, let's get on with your horoscope and see what the cards have to say first, because I like to draw 2 cards as theme cards for the month for you. So for gorgeous Gemini, what do I see? Oh, it's a great time to go out and have some fun. Eat some popcorn at the pictures. Okay, maybe cautious you don't overeat, but there is a time of socialising with friends. We do have Jupiter here in your house of associations, indicating that there could be some sort of expansion there, but it will be moving later on in the month. Okay, the first card that comes up is the Justice card. This is a time of making decisions. It's about natural law, L-O-R-E, not necessarily human law, L-A-W. It's a time when you have to weigh everything up, you have to balance things, and then you make a decision. And see all that red there in the card? That is about taking action. It's important to listen to the owl on your shoulder because your intuition is telling you the truth about a life-changing event that could happen this month, gorgeous Geminis. Okay, so let's have a look at the second half of the month for you. We'll see what comes up. Also on that, I just can't move forward because I'm getting a sort of vibe on hearing some news about someone who did you wrong in the past, and you just hear something about them and you think to yourself, yeah, I knew that. It's not about wishing them harm. Wish everybody well is what I say. Even if they hurt you at some point, you could have got the silver lining there and learnt something as a result. So even if you learnt not to put yourself in that situation again. All right, I just feel like you're going to hear something about somebody that you might have had an issue with in the past. All right, the second half of the month, now I've said that, justice will be done. A steam train, you're going ahead like a train. If you're working and it's paid work, you could accomplish a particular lot of work and in a very good manner. There might be some major challenge at work that you're overcoming. You're in the process of overcoming. The card that comes up is a Strength card, another major arcana. This is a very significant month for you. Spirit wants to give you the sense of strength. Okay, they are looking out for you and protecting you. Okay, so I'm going to make this a bit bigger now so you can see better. You'll see all this activity here in your 12th house I was just talking about, how important it is for you to have time out, because there is a process of inner transformation going on from the first of the month, because we have Pluto retrograde. It's here in your 9th house, which indicates inner transformation. But with Pluto there, this could be around formal study, learning, education. It could be about spirituality, philosophy, or travel. It's all about it's called the house of the higher mind, so it's all about expanding your awareness and making your life bigger in some way. So you need this quiet time to think and stew over about these matters, ways that you can make your life more expansive. And for many people that is either through further study or travel, or maybe mixing with people from other countries. The exotic appeals to you now. It's a great time for innovations within and transformation within. On the 5th, the full moon is in Scorpio here in your everyday work, dredging things up. It might dredge up dissatisfactions with your current job, and at some point around the 5th, for a day or two, 3 maybe, the moon is going to be conjunct the south node. So this is about tradition and what you've been doing in the past. However, now you're being called to do something new in the future. So these things could come up out of your subconscious. So just write them down and pay attention. It is a time of being invited to look at the things that are not satisfactory in your everyday life or your daily routine, your work or your health. The 7th sees Venus moving into Cancer here. This brings a lovely smooth flow of energy around your finances, your possessions, or the things that you value. But the thing with Venus is she loves to spend money on beautiful items. So be a bit cautious with that. See if you can buy things that appreciate and value, like art or perhaps jewellery or old classic cars, but do be cautious. I mean, all of these things need proper investigation, and research. So I'm not advising you to do that. I'm just saying try to buy something that appreciates in value, and I'll leave that up to you to decide what that is. But it brings additional sensitivity as well. It's a time of love and affection, and also your emotions could fluctuate a bit here, especially if you don't feel like you've got love or affection in your life. So it's important to have a stable and beautiful environment for Venus. She loves that. Nurture yourself and nurture your relationships. Think twice if people are asking you for money, however, if you're going to give it to them. On the 14th, Mercury also moves into Taurus. Oh, sorry, it's already in Taurus. It turns direct, rather, I should say. It's been retrograde, and now that it's direct, you might feel like you've got closer access to your subconscious, that you're finally starting to understand what the messages are. Spirit has definite messages for you, particularly with 2 major arcana cards, very important. Jupiter enters Taurus on the 16th, here bringing an expansion of awareness around your subconscious, and again more messages and more focus, more energy for looking at your spirituality, especially with Pluto retrograde in your 9th. Okay, that's quite a spiritual month for you coming up. Then we have Jupiter squaring Pluto, so it will be here and it'll make a 90-degree angle. It's one of the few times when a square isn't actually bad or difficult or negative. We tend to think of squares in that way because they are challenging. However, when it's Jupiter, it brings some level of confidence, and so Pluto, being retrograde within, you may feel some degree of confidence, but you're not likely to feel overconfident, because usually Jupiter brings too much confidence, too much of anything actually. But with a square, it's not too much. It's something that you can cope with, and it could be quite beneficial for you. On the 19th of May, the new moon is also there, bringing a new beginning. Maybe you get interested in some new form of healing, subconscious healing. The 12th house is the house of the divine. It is very difficult to understand, and it is quite experiential, and it's different for everybody, what's going on down there. But certainly you're having a party down there, and the North Node is there, and they're all sort of conjunct as well at one point. And with the North Node, this is your future, this is your destiny looking within. So it is really super important. On the 20th, Mars enters Leo down here, bringing a lot of energy to your mental realms and your communications with other people. You might be doing more local errands, running around your local area. You might be chatting to the neighbour over the back fence, or siblings or cousins, family members that are a bit distant from you perhaps. And it also just brings a lot of energy for learning and for growth in general, especially with Mars. All that energy is going to help you. On the 21st, the Sun enters Gemini here in your first house, bringing insight, awareness and stability and comfort. And it's going to put the focus on the next cycle for you soon, and that's coming up. And you'll find that you see these things about your appearance, or perhaps your identity, or how you approach the world, and you want to sort of fix things that are not sort of commensurate with your internal idea about who you are. You want to put out in the world who you really are and be quite authentic. All right, so that's it, Gemini. Have a very wonderful month. Don't forget to check your moon and your rising sign too. Thanks, and bye for now. Hello, caring Cancerians. I'm here with your May horoscope. And what a month we have. It's a quieter month, thankfully, but there is some inner transformation going on for everyone this month. So let's go to the board now, and I'm going to draw these 2 cards, which will be theme cards for the month for you. Okay. All right, so the cards. Closing my eyes now for caring Cancerians. Okay, this wrist here, the right wrist, the masculine way of doing things, it has a chain around it that's going to fall off, okay? It may not be this month exactly, but it's certainly over the next few months. You may be used to doing things in a particular way, maybe a logical, analytical way, and there's more freedom and creativity coming to you, particularly with the full moon here in your house of creativity, which will be conjunct the North Node, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, let's see what card we get, because it just depends. Sometimes I get a vision and then it's got no relationship that I can see to the card, or the card has got every relationship to do with the vision. 2 cards have fallen out. Okay, the Tower card. This is a construct that you have built up in your mind, something that you thought was the way to do things, or maybe a relationship, or maybe a job, but it's a structure of ideas around you, and it's going to come toppling down, and that's a good thing. If you've got any kind of psychic ability at all, sorry, that's my cat, Prince Harry, in the background. You will have seen this coming, or at least had some idea that things are not ideal. And this is indicating that your motivation and creativity and inspiration around a certain thing is coming to an end. It's the 9 of Wands. You could be feeling quite tired. You might have felt some level of burden. You've been taking action. You've been moving up the steps of life, but it's tiring, So that is coming to a finish, and you'll be able to utilize your creativity in better ways in different areas. Okay, so let's put those cards, actually let's put them on this side because there's not a lot of space, is there? And bear those in mind. That's the first half of the month. Now, looking at the second half of the month, what do I see for caring? Yeah, so sorry, as soon as I close my eyes, I'll get more about this. It'll become apparent to you that some endeavours, some things you've been doing, not paying off, basically. There's too little return for what you've been doing, and it's not like you haven't tried. You have tried, but sometimes things come to an end and something will replace it. Make space in your life for something else to replace it. Okay, now going to the second half of the month, it's like a realization around that. Okay, I get the sensation of water, which you are a water sign, and the flowing, just go with the flow, go with the tide. It's going to wash you down to a new place, which will be closer to the subconscious, which will be better for you because you'll have more direct access to what's going on in your subconscious, okay? I want to say it's been rocky and it's been hard. Okay, the card that's come up is a 7 of Cups. Second time it's come out today. It's about reaching out for spiritual attainment. Okay, it's like something you've been searching for a long time. I want to say it's within your grasp, but it's not going to happen like immediately. It's important to go through the process of striving and wanting to attain spiritually, and it will affect multiple areas of your life. Okay, so that's about your emotions there in the second half of the month. Okay, so they're the cards, they're the themes. Now let's have a look at the actual horoscope. I'm going to make this bigger for you, like that. Okay, so you've got a lot going on in this section of the chart, the eastern side of the chart, which does suggest new births are coming, a new beginning is coming, and especially with Pluto retrograde, it's like you're in it's like you're in the birth canal, it's something going to be born, but it's not ready yet. And on the 1st of May, Pluto goes retrograde, and it's in both Aquarius and Capricorn, going in and out over the course of this year. And so this brings a process of inner transformation, innovation, and it's basically all about change, self-reflection, self-development. And here in the 8th house, it could be to do with joint resources, it could also be to do with intimacy with another person. Perhaps there's been something blocking the deeper levels of intimacy, and it's like now you're going to go up a level with regard to that. Okay, in Aquarius, you're both likely to have some sort of cognitive understanding of when this process starts. You're likely both to understand what's going on here. Okay, so then we have on the 5th, the full moon in Scorpio that I mentioned before, conjuncting your south node. So this new process that's coming in, there's a little bit of a, this way, that way, this and that with the past traditions, the way that you've handled your creativity or handled romance or handled your inner child is going to be stirred up with the full moon in Scorpio, bringing intense feelings and, again, inner transformation. So it's sort of coming out to the theme, other words coming through here to do with, you know how I said the eastern part of the chart and new beginnings. It's like some places you have to go alone. Even if you have a partner and you're working on intimacy together, there are some things that only you can do, or places only, that you can go. Your partner cannot go with you. Okay, so just to get those words in. But intense inner healing is likely this month of your deepest emotions, such as fear and doubt, and maybe even hidden secrets need to be looked at. On the 7th, Venus enters Cancer here, and this is likely to bring a beautiful, affectionate, smooth-flowing, harmonious energy to how you approach the world in your outward communications, in your identity, in your appearance. Venus loves beauty, so you could get rid of old clothes and buy beautiful new clothes. You could improve your physical appearance to be more in alignment with your inner reality, the authentic you, okay? And it also brings, Venus in Cancer also brings, because it's your sign, and so this is doubly strong or impactful on you, but it brings more sensitivity as well. So just be aware that your emotions may be more sensitive than usual this month, okay? And that if you don't feel like you're getting the love and the affection that you need, that your emotions may fluctuate. And it might mean sometimes you feel really loving and caring, and then the next day you feel more moody and sad. But it's a good time for you to be in a stable and beautiful environment. If you don't have that, put yourself into that somehow. Go on a holiday or something, go somewhere beautiful, and nurture yourself and your relationships. On the 14th of May, Mercury goes into Taurus up here. It's already in Taurus. It turns retrograde. It's actually, I'll get this right. Mercury is already retrograde and in Taurus. It turns direct. Okay, so you could have a sense of freedom, a sense of moving forward, especially relating to your friends, groups and associates, or even your hopes and dreams. And this sense of moving forward, it happens quite quickly. It's almost like you felt delayed about something. Maybe you felt there was some sort of glitches or something like that. So that all smooths out. There is a little bit of a shadow period for a week or so where it gradually comes off, the sense of being delayed. It gradually slows down, and then you feel like you're getting somewhere. Okay, then we have on the 16th, Jupiter entering Taurus as well, bringing extra energy, extra confidence, bringing good luck, bringing a sense of learning or a sense of knowledge or mentorship. Maybe you mentor your friends in some way or you coach them in some way, but it is good luck. On the 17th of May, Jupiter is square Pluto. Now, normally with a square, you think of the challenges and you think it's hard and it's a struggle, but with Jupiter, much, much, much less so. It probably makes things more balanced. It probably gives you a sense of confidence, but not overconfidence. Jupiter is famous for overconfidence. So squaring Pluto, that's not going to be the case, but you could feel it's time for inner reflection and it's time to feel expansive within. On the 19th of May, the new moon is in Taurus. Here, sorry, there's a bit of noise in the background. My husband's very noisy. It's not the cat, it's the husband. But I shouldn't complain. He's probably going to cook my lunch in a moment. So new moon in Taurus, new beginnings, that's what I was talking about before. And a whole new cycle about to begin, and especially because of this 9 of Wands here. Then we have on the 20th Mars entering Leo, bringing a lot of ambition and energy around your finances and around your possessions and the things that you value. So a lot of energetic activity. You may have a clean out and decide to sell some things. You may be full of energy for perhaps determining new financial supplies. You may be full of energy for saving money. Perhaps you can find some good bargains with this as well. And then we have the Sun entering Gemini on the 21st up here, bringing a lot of insight and awareness to your subconscious, the house of the divine, the house of the goddess. It's a great time for looking at your dreams. It's a great time for picking yourself up in the day and seeing those little flashes that, sometimes we get distracted when we're doing something, we don't pay attention. And often those little flashes that we get, they're absolutely gold. They contain gold. We just need to write them down, and we forget to do that. So with the Sun here, that's going to bring a lot of energy for paying attention to your subconscious. So that's the month. I hope it's helpful for you. Thanks so much for listening, and don't forget to check your moon sign and your rising sign. Okay, have a great one. I'll catch you later. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, lovely Leo. I'm here with your May horoscope. Some interesting things happening this month for you, but it is a quieter month and we all need that. Okay, let's go to the board now and pick 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. And then we'll look at your horoscope in depth. Okay, so closing my eyes now. All right, I'm in a vehicle. The vehicle is moving forward slowly. It's raining hard outside, so there might have been some degree of disappointment or sadness here because the rain, is like tears, basically. It's like whimpering. I get the word whimpering. Maybe some decisions that you made were not good decisions, okay? And now all you can do is keep moving forward. You can't go back. There's no going back, okay? The decisions have made some sort of consequence. There's been some sort of physical consequence. You'll see here this is all your 10th house here. Look at all of this. So much energy around your career, your vocation in life, what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing, but with all of this activity, these planets are all conjunct, all blending together, amplifying the stress and strain, if you like, around your career. And it's Taurus. So Taurus is ruled by Venus. It affects your money. Okay, Venus looks after money. So it affects your money. It affects beauty in your life in some way. It affects your peace. And it's also an earth sign. So there's some sort of physical manifestation that comes as a result of this journey that you're on. And I get the sense driving in the car, you don't know what that journey is. You don't know what your end goal is or your end destination. So you just have to keep going, basically. But let's see what the cards have to say, because that's just from my vision that I can see in my face now. All right, the card that comes up, I'm going to pick that one there, and it's the 7 of Swords. In the old days, it was called Thief in the Night card. Somebody who robbed you of money or robbed you of self-esteem. Often this can go back to a fatherhood figure or your own father and how you were sold short. And so all your life, what you have to do is try and make up for your father selling you short. The clue there is to father yourself. Okay, don't look in the outside world, don't look at other people, don't look at partners to be your father, because they're not, and they never will be. Nobody can replace your real father. The best that you can do, and it's actually, if you do it properly, it's actually better than anything, is to father yourself. Parent yourself. Father yourself in a logical, practical way. Teach yourself to start projects, to work on those projects, to stick to them, complete them, and also to be proud of yourself, okay? Yellow legs, so it is about moving forward. There's lots of great ideas here that you have. You've put some in the ground, and there's a whole bunch that haven't been put in the ground. These tents can mean travel, but usually they mean the chakras opening up, okay? So making your life bigger in some way, but perhaps you're thinking of an overseas trip as well. You may even go overseas and live. Do be careful where you go. These are dangerous times now, and some places definitely I would not be going. Where you're asking me? I wouldn't be going anywhere in Asia at the moment, to be quite honest. I wouldn't be going anywhere in Northern Europe at the moment, but if you have to go, I guess going now is preferable to going next year. So yeah, your decision what you do. Travel could be on the cards, and we'll see. Okay, 7 of Swords. It's looking more promising, put it that way, than where you were before a year ago. It's looking more promising now. Let's have a look at the second card in the month. I see shoes, taking your shoes off. Okay, so this goes back to that saying, walk in somebody else's shoes, and it's put yourself into their position, okay? But I get you changing your shoes, which means you're probably changing your mind about something, and you're going to take up another way of looking at things, a more fuller viewpoint instead of where you were. The Devil card comes out, hardly ever comes out. This is scary for you to do, I feel. To move forward on your own, it's scary. You make decisions. If you make the wrong decision, then it sort of stuffs you up. However, you can learn from those decisions, and it might have been that in some way you were insulated from making all of the decisions in the past, and now you have to make decisions. It's hard. I know it's hard. As a Libran, I'm a Libran, making decisions is hard. But if in doubt, if ever you're not sure, do nothing. Okay, that's how I do it. Or if you go to a restaurant and you can't make up your mind, have both. Look, the first step is becoming aware of whatever the patterns are, becoming aware of whatever the limitations are, okay? And as you become aware of those, these chains can drop from your wrists. You can be free. It's a matter of working out how best to do that. Sometimes we can tie ourselves up with chains, in lots of different ways, in relationships, with property. Looking after a house, for example, is a huge job. It's just an ongoing job. I've got a partner and it never gets totally done. It's never. So look at ways you can minimise the work in your life so that you can enjoy yourself more, okay? Although this might seem scary, and I don't want to scare you, it is a matter of becoming whole and becoming healthy. You have to look in the darkness. You can't have light without dark. The two go together. So I encourage you to do that, to voluntarily look within, look into the darkness, have a think about what I've said, and you might come up with a brand new solution that you've never thought of before. Okay? So it's a major arcana. It's fairly important this month. Alrighty, so there are your cards. Now let's make this a bit bigger. You can see it. All of this up here, I already mentioned about your career, your reputation, and it's also to do with an authority figure in your life. I just get the sense that if you deal with this properly now, this evil, if you like, if you want to call it, which is just a lack of light, just a lack of insight and awareness, I really feel for at least some of you, but probably many of you, this stems back to your father, okay? And looking at that and going within and feeling all of those feelings, you might find, like Uranus is here, for example, it could be something unpredictable or volatile or something that you never expected. Your MC, it could be to do with your direction in life. This is pretty important, and it's rare to see so much activity in the one house. And we'll also have the new moon, a new beginning there, and we'll have Jupiter bringing extra energy in as well as the month goes on. So this is just sort of unheard of to have so much. But I can't see for you, I cannot see that things are going to stay the same. I just can't see it with all of that activity. I feel like transformation is really very strong around your career, around your reputation in the community and your status, about what you think about your status, and also to do with a parental figure, the parental figure who let you down the most. Now, on the 1st of May, Pluto is retrograde here in your house of significant partnerships. This can be personal or business partnerships, and retrograde means it's time of inner reflection, a time of inner transformation. On the 5th, the full moon is going to be in Scorpio, dredging up some things around your home and family life. It's going to be conjunct the South Node. So this is like the traditions of the past versus your destiny in the future, where you want to go, and your North Node opposite here in your 10th house will be probably activated. This is huge, what you're going to go through. I don't think it's just in May, but it's over the next few months. Intense inner healing. Venus is entering Cancer as well, and up here, this is in your 12th house, bringing you beautiful, peaceful energies coming out of your subconscious. You could be feeling more sensitive, and there's a need for love and affection. Your emotions could also fluctuate. The 14th sees Mercury in Taurus up here, and it's turning direct. Okay, it's been retrograde, so you might have a sense of moving forward now in your career finally, and you may have a sense of relief around that. And Jupiter also joins that party, bringing good luck, bringing expansive energy, a sense of learning and making your life bigger. Jupiter squares Pluto on the 17th of the month. Here's Pluto here. Normally it's a difficult time when it's a square, but with Jupiter not so, because it is a very magnanimous, huge, big planet that brings all of those qualities, and so it gives you confidence, but not too much confidence. Perhaps before you may have felt overconfident about some things. On the 19th, the new moon in Taurus as well, up here, conjuncting the North Node and Jupiter. And so we have this lovely little thing about your future, your destiny. It's a new cycle, bringing some positive good luck to you. And also something about learning, mentoring other people, or other people mentoring you, and optimism and positivity. The 20th sees Mars, and it's entering your sign, again giving you more energy to think about yourself, giving you sort of ambition about what your place is in the world, where you want to be in the world, and what you want to do, how you want to approach the world, and getting your message out there. And on the 21st, the Sun enters Gemini up here in your 11th house of friends and also associates, and also your hopes and dreams. And so this brings insight, awareness, comfort, stability around your friendships. You might find your friends have been very supportive to you, particularly lately, and that's likely to continue. Okay, so that's it. Lovely Leo, I hope this is helpful. Don't forget to check your moon and your rising sign as well. Have a very wonderful month, but yeah, I do really feel that over the remainder of this year, but say the next 3 to 6 months, like it's really going to be full-on transformation for you. Okay, bye for now. Hello and welcome, Vivacious Virgo. I've got your May horoscope, and it's a quieter month in some respects, but you do have some really favourable things that are going to happen. But first, we're going to draw the 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month. So let's go to the board now. Here's your horoscope, and we'll draw these cards first, okay, as theme cards. Closing my eyes now. It's funny, I see coins coming out of the cards when I close my eyes. They're like popping out, these little gold coins. So coins are all about change. So change coming from the cards. Put your cards on the table and call a spade, and change will come from that. So it's important to speak up. All right, let's have a look. The card that comes out is the 9 of Swords. This is the end of a cycle where you may be feeling a bit sorrowful about something that didn't work out. But do know that Spirit is on your side, even if, you know, you had some thoughts and they didn't turn out like how you thought they should. The 9 of Swords suggests that disappointment or delay, although it's there, it's coming to an end, okay? This purple thing is like a support for you, okay? So don't worry too much about this, but it is coming to an end. Let's have a look at the second card for you, Vivacious Virgo. Sorry, I've got a plane flying over. They always fly over when I do, you know, YouTube. I don't know how that works. The card that comes up is the Knight of Wands, hasten slowly. Don't be in too much of a hurry to get out there and start new things. There's an energy of adventure and excitement coming, okay? So in one way, although in the beginning of the month you may lose, or you think you lose in something, then it's made up for later in the month, because there's this sort of sense of excitement and the potential of possibility. There could be some travel here, but it's not likely. But this shape of the pyramid, sometimes it suggests, or more often it suggests, that your chakras are opening up. A lot of growth here. Sometimes this is like a young man in his 20s, you know, the whole of his life ahead of him, so much more that could be achieved. Normally, you know, the sort of Peter Pan type energy goes out into the world to conquer the world and has all these adventures, but this is saying slow down, don't be, you know, too excitable. And of course, wands are all about creativity. All right, so bear those in mind. And now I'm going to make this a bit bigger, like that. Now, you do have some good news. Firstly, to start, we've got this triangle here. It's called a talent triangle, or a triangle of creativity. And it's between Uranus, Mars, and also the Moon. So it probably only lasts a day or two at the beginning of the month. But it's a great time to start new projects and take something on board and put your seal of your talent onto something, onto a new project. And also at the same time, on the 1st of the month, we have Pluto retrograde in Aquarius down here in your house of creativity. And this suggests that it's time to go within, because there's a lot of inner transformation going on and a lot of inner innovation going on. So it brings a need for self-reflection. And you also have things going on in your 12th house as well, which I'll come to. But although, you know, spirituality is important, it's not the only thing this month. This thing of creativity is probably going to be a bit of a theme for you. On the 5th, we have the full moon in Scorpio here. And so this is going to bring a real big shake-up in your house of communications and learning, you see. It's going to cross across the south node here, which is there in your 2nd house. It's going to cross across that and shake it up before landing in your 3rd house. The new ideas and creativity that you have, it might be to do with money, new ways of making new ways of making money. Completely understandable. It's a time of inner transformation and intense inner healing. And then on the 7th, we have Venus going into Cancer as well, up here in your house of friends, groups, associates, and also hopes and dreams. Now, Venus looks after money. So sometimes, you know, she will try to influence you to spend money. And if you're going to do that, especially with anything to do with investments, it's a good idea to try and invest in things that accumulate in value rather than, you know, cheap bric-a-brac, for example. But up there in your house of friends, you might find that it's a great time for socialising. You could meet some beautiful people through your friends or while you were out and about gallivanting around. It's a very favourable energy. And in Cancer, it also brings heightened sensitivity. So it's a time of love and affection, generally speaking. And if you can't go out and mix with other people, you might find that your emotions fluctuate a little bit and perhaps you feel a bit sad or moody, okay? This is telling you that maybe it's a time to seek out new friends, you know, or seek out new groups as well. On the 14th, Mercury is already in Taurus and it has been retrograde up here. And look at this big party you've got going on in your 9th house here. All of these planets doing their thing. And this is the house of the higher mind, but it's also about expanding your horizons, looking to the future. It's about travel. It's about anything exotic. It can be to do with spirituality or philosophy as well. And Mercury turning direct there suggests that you're going to have brilliant new ideas and communications that, you know, suggest that you're moving forward in life again now. You might have felt a bit stuck, or maybe that you're not moving forward. That's all about to change. And Jupiter also enters Taurus on the 16th. enlarging these feelings that are already there about wanting to broaden your horizons. And it actually brings good luck too. And so you could meet various people in the way that you expand your life, is going to probably bring new people into your life, and somehow your life gets much bigger. Now, there is a square. Jupiter squares Pluto on the 17th, Pluto down here. And normally this would be difficult to handle, but because it's Jupiter, that's not the case so much. Jupiter tends to do everything over the top, and brings overconfidence, for example. But in a square, it just makes you sort of balanced. You're not feeling overly confident, but you still can feel the strength of Jupiter aiding you and bringing you good luck. So even though Pluto is the planet of birth, death, and rebirth, it might be a painless death of something, or maybe not as painful, and then there's some sort of rebirth and the phoenix rises again, and that's where the good luck comes in. 19th of May, the new moon is in Taurus as well here, bringing a brand new start. You maybe think about going on a holiday or going overseas, doing a new course, again, meeting new people. So that seems to be quite a theme this month, that the chances of meeting new people who are on the same page or similar page to you seems quite high. So I'll say new friends, it's always possible. The 20th sees Mars entering Leo. So sometimes this can feel a bit frustrating because Mars has got all this energy and then it's gone into the 12th house, which is sort of hidden and underneath and down in your subconscious. And so sometimes it can bring interesting dreams, but you may feel a bit irritable or frustrated and not really know why. So just bear that in mind, that it could be Mars. You've also got Lilith in there as well. So maybe do a lot of journaling, spend time by yourself, for self-reflection, and write all of these things down. On the 21st, the Sun enters Gemini up here. I haven't drawn it in, so it's there, and it should have gone in here to Gemini. And so this is your 10th house of career and perhaps reputation, or maybe an authority figure like a parent. And the Sun brings insight, awareness, stability, a degree of comfort, a degree of happiness. So you might find that your relationship with a parent improves, or your relationships to do with your career also improve. Alrighty, so that's it, Vivacious Virgo. I hope this is helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check your moon and rising sign as well. Have a wonderful month, everyone. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Hello, lovely Libra. Thank you so much for watching. I've got your May 2023 horoscope. It's a quieter month this month, thankfully, but there are a few interesting things that you need to watch out for. So let's go to the board now, and we'll draw the two cards, which will be theme cards for the month for you. Okay, so the first card for Libra in May 2023. Ooh, it's a bit breezy out there, so there could be people changing their minds left, right and centre. You might be changing your mind about something too, okay? Wind often relates to the mental realms and what you think, so you might be in a state of flux regarding your thoughts on various matters. Okay, let's see what card we get. It's the King of Cups. This is a beautiful energy around your emotions. Sometimes you may meet somebody like this, and there's a degree of intuition around it too. So do watch what you're picking up, what your senses, your little senses can pick up. We have the sun in the background, which is very helpful. It promotes stability. It promotes insight and awareness, and being in touch with the subconscious forces will help your intuition as well. See this energy, this king here, King of Cups, has gold around his throat. Very high level, very appropriate messaging coming to you. And also, as I mentioned, this dark blue is like the indigo of the third eye, so listen to your intuition. You could meet somebody who is kind and caring and very experienced, wise, and very helpful. If you don't know anyone like this, you can find this energy in yourself. Okay, go digging because it's worth it. Now, the second half of the month, what do I see for you, Libra? It's funny, I see the bow like a bow and arrow, so it could be a creative time where you've got a lot of projects that you want to achieve, and it's like you're firing arrows into the air trying to hit the target. And even if some of them don't work out, which I don't think they will, there's also some that will hit the target. Now, what I'm seeing here in spirit is like a wound, and I can see all the stitches. It's a bit infected and it's going to burst open, and that could be a bit painful. So yeah, clean up the mess. You will anyway. After that comes the healing. So something's going to be healed, but it could be a little bit painful before the healing. You do have Chiron here in your 7th house of significant relationships, so it could be either business or pleasure, a partner or husband, spouse, wife, whatever. In Aries, it could happen quite quickly, or unpredictably or spontaneously. Let's see what other card we get. This card is the Six of Wands. It's accolades. Even if something happens which is painful involving another person, like a partner, you're going to receive accolades or awards or rewards as a result. Okay, you're going to handle it properly. And blue and green are beautiful together. Don't let anyone tell you that they shouldn't be seen, because that's just rubbish. It's like you win the world's best picture, or something like that. But yeah, recognition and approval for the way the craftsmanship that you display in dealing with a difficult situation. Okay, and to add to that, we have this T-square right at the start of the month between Neptune in your everyday life, your habits, your routine, your everyday work, or perhaps to do with your health. Venus here in the 9th house of the higher mind, so some thinking is required, but also diplomacy is very important. And the moon in your 12th house, stirring things up as well. And this is challenging, there's no doubt about it. But added to this, we also have on the 1st of the month, Pluto here retrograde in your house of creativity, romance and the inner child. So whatever this wound is that comes to the surface, it is a time of inner transformation, and it's a time of innovation and reflection. So even if you feel like you're being intensely triggered, don't buy into the argument, or don't buy into whatever the situation is. Just find a solution. It's not worth your emotions to get involved with your emotions. On the 5th, there's a full moon in Scorpio here, shaking things up to do with your money, and it will be conjunct the south node. The moon will be conjunct the south node, and so this suggests that tradition, being conservative, doing things the way that you've always done them in the past regarding your finances, your possessions, or even your values and beliefs, what you value, is going to get a shake-up. And you can tweak things and make it better, but intense inner healing is likely. On the 7th, Venus enters Cancer up here, and Venus brings the role of diplomat to your career, or also to do with an authority figure such as a parent. So she can handle it. It brings what would you say? It brings a greater level of inner sensitivity. It brings love and affection. And if you're not getting these, you may feel that your emotions are a bit all over the show. They can fluctuate, but there's probably a fair bit going on about authority figures, career and relationships this month. The 14th sees Mercury in Taurus, and it has been in Taurus for a while, but it's been retrograde, and on the 14th it's going to turn direct. So there's a shadow period of about a week after that when it's sort of speeding up. Mercury's going faster and faster through the night sky. Finally, you'll feel like you're making some sort of progress, and any delays or frustration that you felt will be ameliorated now because things are finally going your way. This is to do with joint resources or the assets that you share with somebody else, or perhaps intimacy with another person, perhaps a spouse. Okay. So after 14th there is major change, and on the 16th Jupiter also enters this house of intimacy and brings expansion and growth and good luck and positive optimism. So things turn around. It might be, initially a bit shaky at the beginning of the month, and then gradually things become stronger and stronger. On the 20th, Mars enters Leo up here, your house of friends and associations, and also hopes and dreams. So you could be filled with extra energy, you could be filled with ambition, or maybe you want to go out and start networking or something like that, or your hopes and dreams are activated and you want to move on those and get some things done there as well. Just watch out for arguments with associates or with friends, because we do have Lilith there as well at 12 degrees. Mars probably travels, I'm not sure on this point, but I suspect that Mars will catch up to Lilith, and it could be a time of arguments. So do watch that point, especially with women, okay, women that you already know. And then finally on the 21st, the Sun enters Gemini up here, bringing a lot of insight and awareness, the spark of life, the spark of creation to your higher mental realms. So if you're studying, this is fantastic because you've got extra insight and you can really understand things to a great deal, a great depth basically is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so a challenging start to the month, but as the month proceeds, things get better and better, and to the point where you do really well. So don't doubt yourself. There's so much here in the 8th house with a lot of conjuncting planets, a lot of energy. Shared resources is really going to become important. It's going to be quite a focus point for you, how you share with other people, and particularly intimacy if you have an intimate partner as well. Okay, lovely Libra, have a wonderful month. I will see you all again soon, and don't forget to check your moon and your rising sign as well. Okay, thanks and bye for now. Hello and welcome, sensational Scorpio. Well, an interesting month we've got coming up in May, but first I'm going to draw 2 cards as theme cards for the month for you. So let's go to the board now. Okay, this is your horoscope and we'll come to this in a moment, but let's look at these 2 cards first and see what I can see. Icing on the cake. So it's like you've got a certain level of something and then there's icing on the cake. That could be positive or negative, I don't know which yet. But I can see the cake very clearly. It's like some sort of celebration, like maybe a wedding or engagement party or something like that. This could be literal or it could be symbolic of something coming together for you. Okay, let's get further clarification with a card on that. The card that comes up is the 7 of Swords. This has come up again today. It means in the old days, they would say a thief in the night card, where somebody stole your independence or your self-respect or self-esteem or something like that. But it could also mean physical possessions too. Somebody stole them. I'm more hopeful than that, particularly because of these bright yellow legs carrying her away from the danger. It's important to realise where you've come from, but you don't want to get stuck back there like, for example, Lot's wife, that parable in the Bible of Lot moving away from Sodom and Gomorrah as they were being destroyed, and they were told not to look back, and he told his wives, multiple wives. Why you'd want multiple wives, I don't know. Most men can't cope with one, never alone more than one. But anyway, he said, don't look back, and she did, and then she was fixated by the past. So just watch for that. But a lot of good ideas that you've got here, and you're putting them into practice, okay? Sticking them in the ground, which means grounding them in practical reality. There could be some thoughts of travel, but more than that, there's energy opening up the chakras, okay? So moving away from a difficult situation is quite likely this month. All right, now, the second half of the month, what do I see for you, sensational Scorps? Yeah, okay, I see, it's like an arrow. This is a bit like steampunk, with all the gears and everything, what I can see. There's some sort of battle going on, so probably an internal conflict, but aiming for something and really going out after your goal. let's see what we get. And there's conflict around it. It's not an easy decision for you to make. Yes, well, the Two of Swords, it is all about making a decision. That's why there's swords here, you see, because they cut through all of the dross and they get right to the core of the issue. The thing to bear in mind, why it might be internal conflict going on, there might be because, see these shadows here, these are shadows from the past, your tradition, what you used to do, and now versus now what you're being called to do in the future. Okay, and we do have that here in your sign, okay, the South Node and the full moon. I'll talk more about this. So this really sums up the South Node and the full moon together, conjunct. All right, now they're the cards. Let's make it a little bit bigger, okay, so you can focus better. You start the month with two very interesting things together. Of course, a T-square involving the moon, Venus and Neptune, a very spiritual, sensitive sort of energy this is. Right, you know, maybe end of April, like 30th of April, 1st and 2nd of May, for example. Around those days, the moon moves very, very quickly. So it could just be for a day, not very much longer than that, but there's some sort of challenge around it, and it involves other people's, or I should say, the resources that you share with other people, or intimacy. It involves your friends, your hopes and dreams, or your associates, and also your creativity or inner child or romance, okay? The moon will move and it will pass. Then you have this wonderful sort of energy between the moon, Mars, and also here in your 7th house, Uranus. So this is called a talent triangle, or a triangle of talent. You could have some real brilliant idea. However, maybe your partner, if you have one, doesn't like the idea. And again, because the moon's involved, it's only for a day or two right at the beginning of the month. But yeah, some really brilliant idea. I would be running with it, you know, but that's me. All right, added to that, on the 1st of May, Pluto down here in your house of home and family is retrograde. This is a time of inner transformation at a very deep level, a lot of self-innovation, self-reflection, and it shows a need to be in a beautiful place, you know, at home or with your family. And it's like you could have some really good idea around your home or your family. Added to that, then we have on the 5th, the full moon in Scorpio that I mentioned before, which will come across here and be conjunct with the South Node, tying you into conservative tradition. But it's a new idea where you've got to balance both your new idea, your new beginning, your new cycle with the things that are already there in your life, okay? And because it's in your 1st house, this is about your appearance, your identity, or how you approach the world, the message that you put out there into the world. Then on the 7th of May, Venus enters Cancer up here, bringing a beautiful sort of vibe of peace and harmony, cooperation, affection. And it will also, after a few days, it will be conjunct with your MC and also with Mars. And so this brings a lot of energy, but it's beautiful, flowing, harmonious energy, and it's around your direction in life, particularly how you expand your life. So whether you do that through study or spirituality, or maybe you want to travel and go to another country, or maybe it's to do with people who have exotic backgrounds or they come from another country. But yeah, a positively exciting time for you. Then on the 14th, Mercury's already in Taurus here and has been retrograde for some weeks. And on the 14th, it goes direct. So if you were feeling like you weren't getting ahead in life, or maybe you weren't getting on great if you have a partner, maybe there was some misunderstandings or miscommunications, those feelings are going to go away over the next few days after the 7th, because it's still in shadow period probably till about the 12th, but gradually there'll be, instead of misunderstanding, there will be understanding and comprehension. Venus in Cancer can be quite sensitive, and love and affection is likely to blossom in that time, especially with your significant partners or those that you have important commitments with. It's also a great time for negotiations in legal matters. And even when you don't get on with people and you don't like them or they don't like you, it's like that maybe there's an olive branch and there's some sort of peace there, so that's a good thing. Yes, so I was talking about Mercury and I went back to Venus because I guess Venus is my ruling planet, so that's what I would do. Jupiter enters Taurus on the 16th and on the 17th it squares Pluto. So Jupiter also adds to this party here in your 7th house of committed relationships. It's bringing even more energy. It's bringing good luck. It's bringing some sort of coaching or mentoring sort of energy, positivity and optimism. And it's going to make a conjunction with the new moon and also the North Node. And the three of these together are really basically saying it's a beautiful cycle of harmonious, positive energy between you and your partner. And this is almost like destiny or fate that is intervening here. If you haven't been getting on so well, things could improve dramatically in this time. And squaring Pluto here, this is on the 17th, by the way, is in your house of home and family. It's about birth, death and rebirth. So if you haven't been getting on with your partner, you might find that the phoenix rises from the ashes and your relationship is rejuvenated in some way. Pluto's not the easiest, but there is the positive after if you've been through a difficult time, there is a positive silver lining of the phoenix rising and the rebirth kicking in. Then new moon, I talked about a new cycle beginning. The 20th sees Mars entering Leo, and that's right up the top here, going into your house of career or significant relationship with an authority figure like a parent. Okay, this brings more energy and dynamism. At some point, it's going to catch up to Lilith, which is at 12 degrees, and do be careful then of arguments, particularly with a woman, okay, when Mars enters Leo. So that's on the 20th, so it's a few days after that. So it might be around 25th or after that date. 21st, Sun enters Gemini up here in your 8th house, bringing insight and awareness and beautiful warmth and affection to intimacy and also with people that you share assets with. Sometimes it's like loans or superannuation. If you're going for a loan, then you're likely to get it. It's quite a positive sort of energy. Alrighty, so that's it. Fantastic Scorpios. Don't forget, check out your moon and your rising sign as well, and have a fabulous month. Thank you and bye for now. Hello and welcome everybody. I've got your wonderful Sagittarius horoscope for May. Okay, so a few things happening, but generally a quieter month. Let's go to the board now and we'll have a look at the cards first to see what your themes are for the month of May, Savvy Sag. Okay, so closing my eyes. Okay, I see a pendulum swinging back and forth in front of me, some decisions to be made, but I get the sense of time around it. It's like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock as it swings. So timing is of the essence. There's a window of opportunity. You have to do it in that time frame. Let's see what card we actually get for the first half of the month. The King of Wands. Okay, so this keeps coming up, this card. It's all about being the master of your own destiny through your creativity, through also being inspired and inspiring others as well. A lot of green here for growth and development. This little lizard down the bottom here saying being in touch with your natural instincts is very important. The red is all about action, and it's physical action too. It's not just sort of thinking about it or talking about it. It's actually taking physical action. You see the sunflowers up here, reminiscent of the sun. That's all about insight, awareness, comfort. You could meet someone like this. It's usually somebody like a masculine energy, quite noble, quite aware, quite conscientious, just spiritual person could come into your life. If you don't know anyone like this, it's up to you to find it in yourself. Okay, so that's the first card. Fairly positive card. So now we're going to do the second half of the month. Let's see. Harry's snuck in, so hopefully he doesn't start trying to be the centre of attention. As I was closing the door, he ran in. Second half of the month, what do I see? Oh, okay, this is a bit odd. It's like a fire and burning some old records. Maybe it means you've dealt with it and you don't need those things from the past anymore, those old patterns of behaviour. Okay, let's see what card we get. The card that comes up is the Justice card. This card keeps coming up too. It's all about making decisions for, which are often involved with karma, but it's natural law, Lore. Although if you do have legal matters, this energy does help you. Important to listen to your intuition because you don't have all of the information before making the decision. Cutting, dissecting, analysing a situation, then weighing up the evidence in front of you, keeping your feet on the ground, being practical, and then taking some action. Even if you don't have all of the available information. So she's wearing black, saying that some things are hidden, and she's blindfolded. Okay, so guess who wants to escape out the window? Okay, so I'm going to put that one there as well. Bear these two cards in mind. The Justice card is a major arcana. It usually involves some sort of major life event rather than just your everyday sort of energy. Now, I made this bigger so you can see. The first thing to take note of, those triangles in the middle. The green one is called a talent triangle, and it affects the moon and Mars and also Uranus. Now this is right at the start of the month, and it's only for a day or two, maybe 30th of April, 1st of May, because the moon is constantly travelling and it's only in each house for 2.5 to 3.5 days, and that goes like that. And then this is indicating that there's some sort of talent or skill or ability that you have. It could be in connection with your career or joint resources that you share with somebody else or your everyday work. But yeah, if you are working, it's probably something you're going to take on and you're going to accomplish it really well in a very unique and authentic sort of manner, unlike anybody else. At the same time, we also have a T-square with the Moon, Venus and Neptune. So Venus and Neptune together sometimes can be quite idealistic. And when you put the Moon with that, some subconscious forces coming up, it can be a bit of a struggle. Harry, what are you doing? He's playing with a spanner, which is always interesting. Okay, so with the moon involved, there's something coming up from your subconscious, but you could be especially creative at the beginning of the month and really think up some great idea, although it could be a bit of a struggle to put into practice, okay? Now, let's have a look here. At the same time, we also have Pluto is retrograde on the 1st of the month as well. So this implies that there's going to be a lot of intense inner transformation and innovation going on. You could do something really quite amazing. So try and have some time for self-reflection. On the 5th of the month, there's a full moon in Scorpio here in your 12th house, and it will be conjunct your South Node. Something about traditions or conservatism, something from the past that's going to come up probably into your mind that could give you a bit of a shake-up, but I don't think it's a big thing, but it's just probably a memory or something that you remember how you felt about something, and it might not necessarily be comfortable, but it is being released as you look at it because your attention to it sort of resolves or helps heal, if that makes sense. Then we have the 7th of May, Venus entering Cancer. which can sometimes make you feel a little bit sensitive with regard to the things that you share with other people, maybe taxes, inheritances, loans, wills, death. And, it might be, something related to somebody who had died that you were thinking about, and you just feel a little bit sensitive, and maybe you're looking back with nostalgia. With Venus, it's often, affectionate sorts of feelings. And if you haven't got anyone, that feels likewise about you, you could feel a little bit moody, or your emotions could fluctuate if you feel, for example, unloved. And then we have, and around that point, if you have a beautiful environment, that can help you. You may find yourself feeling much better if you're out in a beautiful place in nature, or you beautify your home, for example, wherever you are. The 14th sees Mercury in Taurus going direct, which I think is in your 8th house. No, it's in your 6th house, I'm sorry. I can't see with the cat. So here is Mercury. This is your everyday life, and this is also your work or your health. And if you feel like that you weren't travelling smoothly, things are likely to pick up. They start flowing much better. There's less misunderstandings, less miscommunications, and there is a thing called a shadow period. So although it goes direct on the 14th, there's probably another week or so where Mercury starts to speed up, okay? And your life starts to speed up at the same time. On the 16th, Jupiter also enters your 6th house, bringing an expansion of energy to your everyday life, your routine, your work, and your health. So you're feeling more vital, and you could start taking things on. On the 17th, though, it squares Pluto down here. Now, normally a square would be difficult, but with Jupiter having so much energy, it's much easier than that. So Pluto retrograde, basically, as I said before, is a time of intense inner transformation. And this could be something to do with, for example, communications at work, or something that you've got to learn at work, maybe a new procedure or something like that. The 19th sees a new moon here at work, a new beginning, a new start, or maybe a new start to your health. You might have a new health program, you want to watch what you eat, you want to move more, you might go dancing or do yoga or something like that. On the 20th, Mars enters Leo, which is up here. I've put the arrow the wrong way. Don't bite me. He wants to play, but yeah, we're not in the playful mood. So it's the 9th house where Mars is going. So this is bringing a huge amount of energy around your thinking. It's called the house of the higher mind. And also you might find that you sort of start thinking about studying or something like that. Or perhaps you're thinking about philosophy or spirituality or something like that. And then finally we have the Sun entering Gemini, which is here in your 7th house, bringing insight and awareness around your significant relationships. And you could be feeling quite happy with your partner, and your relationship's going quite swimmingly. Also, if you haven't been getting on with anybody, then you might find that things vastly improve, and there's an olive branch of sorts that is offered regarding the difficulties that you may have had in this relationship. Alrighty, so that's it, Savvy Sagittarius. Hope this is helpful for you. Don't forget, have a look at your rising sign and your moon sign as well, and have a wonderful month. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, courageous Capricorn. I've got your May 2023 horoscope. Quite a month, but some interesting things happening. So let's go to the board right now and we'll have a look at some cards to see what the major themes of the month are for you. Alrighty, so closing my eyes for the first half of the month for Capricorn. I see it's like a lake, but it's also so clear and still that it's almost like a mirror. So you can see your own thoughts or the energies of you reflected back to you. Maybe other people in the outside world are going to show you something about yourself in the beginning of the month up until, say, mid-month. The card that comes up is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so a little bit of confusion or doubt here in the background. Your emotions a bit cloudy perhaps. However, you'll go through some sort of process, this arbor of trees, where you'll come out the other side being more insightful. You'll see there's blue sky there, so your thoughts are going to come clear. And it's in relation to a new beginning around your finances, your possessions, or it's probably finances mostly. And so there's a new way of making money, or a new way that you can save money, you know, bonus. Spirit is handing you a gift here. Maybe you're thinking about a new position, new job. There's a bit of energy there for that. Or if you want more work, you may be able to get it. All right, so now let's look at the second half of the month for you, courageous Capricorns. I see somebody's index finger, and it's like put your finger right on it. It's like you've got the exact point that you need to move forward. It's like putting your finger right on it, okay? You're being pointed in the correct direction that you need to go. The card that comes up for you is the Six of Cups, which is fabulous. It's all about abundance, isn't it? Look at all of that green in that card. She's got this jewel green top and all of this green grass. And sometimes there's a decision to be made in order to attract this abundance into your life, and you could be swinging on making the decision. However, there's lots of flowers in these cups, so it brings happiness. Whatever you decide brings happiness. There's trees in the background here. These could be family members, or this tree here, which could be you. But also I feel, because there is so much green in this, that this could also relate to your money, especially given the Ace of Pentacles at the start there. Alrighty, let's make this bigger and have a look at your horoscope in depth, courageous Capricorn. The first thing to note is these two triangles. The first green triangle is called a talent triangle, and this is where you use your intuition and your brain together to get the best out of the situation. We've got the moon here, which is conjunct your MC. It will be at the start of the month. The moon will be back here, and because the moon travels very quickly, so it's only going to be a matter of a day or so that this talent triangle will exist. But we have the moon, we have Mars, a surge of energy concerning a significant partner, and we also have Uranus here in the 5th house, which is your creativity, romance and leisure. So you could have some brilliant flash of insight that expands your life in some way, and also it's connected to a significant other and some sort of unusual or unpredictable thing to do with your creativity. Now, added to that, we also have a T-square, and again, it's only for a day or so, right at the beginning of the month, the first of the month. The moon, Neptune and also Venus. And Venus and Neptune is a beautiful spiritual influence, and bringing the moon into that, it's coming from your subconscious. So this is like a spiritual occurrence or a spiritual feeling that probably comes over you, connected to your communications, expanding your life and your everyday life. So making your everyday life much, much bigger, okay? Some sort of brilliant flash of insight is likely to occur. Added to that, on the first of the month, we also have Pluto retrograde here in your second house of finances. Pluto in Aquarius. It's likely to give you a brilliant flash about your money, okay, how to make more money or something like that, because Pluto is all about innovation, transformation, self-reflection, and it could be quite significant. So I would say around the first, like even if you could do the 30th, the 1st and the 2nd, those 3 days there, try to put aside to be really in touch with your subconscious, because you're going to get a very important message and it could affect your life in a major way. So I reckon treat it as an investment. put some time into this, because you might find that you're much happier when you think up this brilliant idea. Then on the 5th of May, the full moon is in Scorpio up here. It will actually conjunct your south node for a day or so, for a short amount of time. And this brings deep, intense feelings up for healing, most probably. And it's around friends, groups or associations, but also your hopes and dreams. And again, it's pointing us to inner transformation and inner healing. Okay, so yeah, just pay attention to that on the 5th. On the 7th, Venus enters Cancer, bringing quite a sensitive time here, and it will be going into your house of significant partnerships, okay, either business or personal. And sometimes it can involve other people that you don't really get on very well with, you don't see eye to eye with. But Venus in Cancer can help you heal a relationship in some way. Somebody might offer an olive branch, or there's some sort of improvement there. It's often a time of affection and love and beauty, and if you're not getting these in your life, then you may feel moody, or your emotions can fluctuate. Maybe start to work on how you can bring more love into your life. Okay, and the first thing there, of course, is loving yourself and respecting yourself, and make your home beautiful, and wherever you are at work, make it beautiful, so that you're looking at beautiful things that will help. On the 14th, Mercury in Taurus finally turns direct, and you feel like your life is moving forward. Here, look at all these conjunctions here in your 5th house of creativity and romance and leisure and pleasure. And so you might find a lot of communications about going out and socialising, going out to have a good time, and things go more smoothly. On the 16th, Jupiter also enters this party here. It will be conjunct your north node, and on the 19th, the new moon will be there, a new beginning around meeting people, socialising, having fun. Maybe you meet somebody romantic, that's always possible. And we have the new moon, the north node, and Jupiter all conjunct around this time, and that could indicate that maybe you're going to meet somebody that is going to be quite important in your life over a long-term period, because North Node is about your destiny, okay? So it could be a fated meeting, your destiny is calling you. And with the new moon, that's a new beginning also, to underscore that. On the 20th, Mars enters Leo up here in your house of intimacy and shared resources, giving you a lot more energy to deal with things that you share with others. These might be things like loans, taxes, inheritances, but it could also be intimacy, so your energy that you intimately share with other people. And maybe a significant partner as well, especially with Venus in the 7th house, is a rejuvenation of important relationships such as marriages or business partnerships, for example. The 21st sees the Sun entering Gemini, bringing a lot of insight and awareness to your everyday life. If you're working, you could be pretty happy where you're working. You may feel more vital and energetic than usual, and things are just going smoothly in your everyday life and you're enjoying it. There's a sense of stability and a sense of comfort and a sense of safety, so that's a good thing. It looks like you're going to have quite a fabulous month, courageous Capricorns, with all of this energy, even if at the beginning there's so much transformation going on that you may feel like it's hard to cope with. So I wouldn't schedule anything important right at the start of the month, because you need that time for self-reflection without, distraction, and without diluting it, looking at other things. Look at what's going on in yourself. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, dear Capricorns, and I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to check out your moon and your rising sign. Okay, thank you and bye for now. Hello and welcome, awesome Aquarius. Well, quite a month, but an important month this month. And especially as Pluto has gone into your sign just a couple of weeks ago, so that's going to have some big changes and transformation for you. But let's go to the board now, and we'll pick these 2 cards as theme cards to see how they work out and how they align with the horoscope. So the first half of the month, let me close my eyes. What do I see? A book in front of me, your life book. It's got dog-eared pages. It's like the corners of the pages are folded back. So you must have been sort of thinking about or looking at your life in general and giving it some thought. And I can see the pages flying over one after the other really, really quickly. There's lots of pencil marks and rubbing out, erasing different things. So you've been erasing some karma and reordering your life events, it seems to me. And it's almost like a scientific formula that I'm looking at, how you're viewing your life, from the mental realms and from the spiritual realms. It's a bit exciting. I can't wait to see what cards come out for you. First one. Okay, so 3 of Cups, socialising is important. Maybe it's been all work and no play. And you'll see here, there is a bit happening here in your 3rd house of communications. I'll talk about that in a moment. And your home and family, and also your leisure and pleasure as well. So that all fits. Socialising, going out with your friends becomes more important. Even if your friends are quite different to you, you might find yourself attracting people who are different, and it all goes into the mix. But do know that you have a spiritual connection together. So you're all in the fish's mouth here. So there's some sort of spiritual connection with these people. All right, and the second half of the month, what do I see for you? Awesome Aquarius. Oh gosh, something about potatoes. Gee, what could that mean? Like going down into the ground, going down into your body. Potatoes are a staple food, especially if you've got Irish ancestry, and you might have a fondness for potatoes. I certainly do, and I do have Irish in me. Let's have a look and see what card we get. It's the 2 of Swords. Okay, so this basically says that you have some decisions to make. They're not huge life-changing decisions, most probably. They're probably just ordinary, everyday type decisions. Do bear in mind that you carry the energies of the past, your past experiences here. So there's some baggage there in making these decisions, but that's okay. We all have that. Just believe that you will make the right decision, okay? And probably in a very real sense, it doesn't matter what decision you make. It could well be half, or part of it could be the journey that is important rather than the actual decision, if that makes sense. All right, bear those cards in mind, and we're going to talk about your horoscope. Okay, so the first thing to note are these 2 triangles here. This green one is actually called a talent triangle. It gives you extra special skills, creativity, and intuition. It involves the moon, so on the first day of the month you have this, and you also have a T-square, and you also have Pluto retrograde in your sign. So the first day of May is super important for you. It could be the 30th of April, it could be the 2nd of May, but it's around the 1st of May. Super important. I will put some time aside for self-reflection. Okay, so this talent triangle involving the moon here in your house of joint resources, Mars here in your everyday life, work and health. You could be feeling more energetic and do some, go out and do some physical things. You do have to be careful of exercising too hard or hurting your physical body. But with a talent triangle, it's not likely. It's more likely that you'll be putting a lot of energy into something creative, and it's something very unusual. It could be around your home, okay? You might be building something around the home, something practical, something to do with, the home you may share with somebody else. That might be the joint resources. And so this is quite a beneficial influence. You also have a T-square with the moon, Neptune, and Venus here. Venus. And again, it's joint resources, a spiritual influence. You may tend to idealize your partner, or because it's here in the 2nd house in Pisces, Neptune's very at home in Pisces, and your second house, it could be something about spending money, Be cautious about buying things that are not really practical. You don't want to look at something with rose-coloured glasses. You might end up overspending. Venus here, it's good for any partnerships, marriages, romance, creativity, socialising, having fun. And with the Pluto retrograde here in your sign, it's an intensely inner transformational energy. It could mean that you need a lot of self-reflection because of all this inner transformation that's going on. If you're building something, making something around the house, you're probably reflecting what's going on within you. Okay, so you could fix some things, you could come up with a brilliant idea using your intuition, how to fix something or make something creative, and you'll probably do it on your own. You know, someone might encourage you, but you'll probably do it on your own. Okay, so then we have on the 5th the full moon in Scorpio up here. It will be conjunctive South Node for a day or less than a day even, and this is likely to bring up something to do with transformation around your career or to do with an authority figure. You may sort of been doing something a certain way, a traditional way. You may have traditional conservative views, and these get a shake up with this influence. On the 7th, Venus enters Cancer, and this brings some sort of sensitivity around your everyday life. It brings a beautiful, smooth, sort of flowing romantic energy. It's an emotional time, it's an affectionate time. It could be at your work, things are just going very well and everybody's getting on really good together. And if you don't have a partner, for example, or someone you can show your love to or your affection to, you might find that your moods fluctuate a bit and you might feel a bit moody. So yes, it's lovely to have a partner most of the time, but the most important thing is to love yourself and respect yourself so that you can attract a suitable partner into your life. You can nurture yourself and your relationships. And also, if you don't have a partner, it's important to have a very beautiful environment, whether that be at work or home. Wherever you are, it needs to be made beautiful. On the 14th, Mercury is already in Taurus here in your 4th house, and it turns direct on the 14th. There's about a week after that where it's coming out of the shadow period, so it's speeding up. The planet is speeding up and going faster. You have all of these conjunctions here in your 4th house, so this is quite mega. It suggests that there is a lot of focus on your home and family, and that there's going to be something major happen around your home and family. It's probably positive. These things on their own, these planets on their own, they don't suggest that there's anything untoward, but you'll also have Jupiter moving in here bringing good luck as well, and it also makes anything bigger that it touches, so you could expand your home or your family could expand. There's happiness with this. There's also the influence of Jupiter squaring Pluto up here. Now normally this is a difficult influence, it's a struggle or a challenge when it's a square, but because it's Jupiter makes all things good or better, makes them better, and so normally you might be feeling a bit underconfident or under the weather when with a square aspect, but not with Jupiter. It sort of balances things up, so even though it's a square, you might find that there's some sort of rebirth around your home or family, or anything that needs to die or pass or be gone or end. It ends very positively, okay? It might be something like you remodel your house, so you have to tear down part of your house or something like that, and that's part of the renovations. Actually, Jupiter and Pluto here in the 4th house is quite strong for renovations. Then we have a new moon also coming in here, indicating new beginnings as well. So you'll have the North Node, the new moon and Jupiter, and they'll all be conjunct. So it's something major. It's about your destiny, your future, expanding your life at home, your home and family getting bigger in some way, and it's a new start for all of you. Then we have Mars entering Leo on the 20th. Where are we? Mars up here. And this brings a lot of energy and I want to say, I'm trying to say vitality, but it's coming out as energy and aggravation. So do watch out, because Mars can sometimes bring arguments. Here, there's Lilith here as well, so probably, what date did I say, Mars? So it's after the 20th, it's probably the 25th or 27th, around there, the end of the month. It's going to be conjunct Lilith, so do watch for arguments, particularly those involving a woman, because Lilith sometimes can get pretty narky. And it's the feminine influence, so just be a bit careful. It could be even someone like a mother-in-law or a relative to your partner that is causing trouble. But it's not, Mars is not always aggravation. Sometimes it just represents the masculine principle. So you might find a masculine partner is becoming more dominant, but not necessarily in a bad or mad way. But you just might find their energy is very strong. They could be more virile. It might be a good thing. Okay, it's also associated with, sex as well. So it could be good for your relationships, not necessarily a negative thing. Sun enters Gemini on the 21st. Gemini up here, and so this brings a lot of insight and awareness. It's great for romance. So yeah, you might find yourself more attracted to male energy. It's great for meeting people. It just brings happiness, brings comfort and just enjoyment, basically. Here, around your creativity and your inner child, you might find you have more to do with children, generally speaking, especially with all of this energy with home and family. It could be the announcement of a pregnancy, or even in your family. So a lot to look forward to, dear Aquarius. It's a major time for you this month. Okay, have a great month. Thank you so much. Don't forget your moon and rising sign as well. Have a fabulous month. You will. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, passionate Pisces. Well, a smoother month coming up for you. An interesting month. A great month to focus on your spirituality and also inner reflection. Let's go to the board now, and I'm going to draw some cards to see what the major themes are for you in May. Okay, closing my eyes now. What do I see for passionate Pisces in May? Right, writing with an old-fashioned quill instead of a biro. So maybe there's something from the past that you're receiving messages about, or you're sending messages about. Actually, I feel it's the word reply is sort of highlighted here in my mind's eye very strongly. So something from the past is coming up and you're dealing with it, okay, which is always a good thing. Let's have a look and see. Oh, this card came out, which is great. The King of Wands, it keeps coming out of the deck today. Okay, so this is fabulous. This is usually a mature person, sometimes a man or a woman who does have strong masculine energy. There's a lot of growth here. There's also a lizard for being in touch with your instincts. It's a very motivational card. It's like a creative force to be reckoned with. This is often a person who is noble and honest and upfront about things, and they're very successful. See this gold around the waist here? This is a solar plexus, so they're very good at making things play out the way that they want them to play out. This gold around the throat, it's about high vibrational messages and self-expression. So this is great for you because you'll be able to be creative and get it out in the world. Seated on a wooden throne, so it's all about practicality. Some sunflowers here brings insight, awareness and happiness and some stability in your life. You could meet somebody like this, a very experienced, mature person who's been around the traps, who understands life. They could help you in some way. Alternatively, you can find this energy in yourself. You may have to do some meditations and go back a few generations perhaps. I certainly had to go back about 500 years at one point to find somebody like this. But yeah, I did find somebody. So, and that masculine energy has helped me no end. Okay, since that happened around 2015, I think it was. Anyway, you can do that, do a meditation and go to your ancestors and ask for what you need. Okay, the second half of the month, what do I see? Okay, the arrow of Sagittarius. You may have some connection with a Sagittarian. It's about the arrow being fired into the air and hitting the target. Okay, so this is like going for your goals, really setting out to achieve at a high level. Robin Hood of English ancestry. Robin Hood robs from the rich, gives to the poor. I don't know if that means anything for anyone, but I just get that energy. The card that comes up is the World card. This is fabulous. The world is your oyster. Here she is with 1 foot on the planet and 1 foot in space. So that's us. That's what we're being called to do, to be practical and grounded, and simultaneously to be spiritual, to wield the staff that royals wield, okay, the staff, making things happen. You might recall Moses hitting the ground with the staff and water came up, and you too can have extra vitality with the staff. So it's got that kind of, vibe. Dressed in gold, a very high vibration, out there in space, listening to spirit, okay. The world is your oyster. It's a major arcana. It can indicate the potential for life-changing, positive events this month. Now, let's have a look at your horoscope. I'll just make it a bit bigger, like that. Okay, and we'll see here on the 1st of the month, Pluto is retrograde here in your 12th house. So this brings up, especially so because it's in the 12th house, this brings up a lot of inner transformation. It's a real need for self-reflection. It's the opportunity to innovate your subconscious, okay, to transform yourself from within. Because it's in Aquarius, it's saying look at the big picture and really think about the things, the areas of life that you can change. Get in touch with your subconscious and let all that energy out, because you're going to find absolute gold there. See, like she's dressed in gold, okay? That's all there within you. On the 5th of the month, the full moon is in Scorpio up here in your 9th house, and this is a shake-up. It's going to actually be conjunct. It's going to come up here, cross across. It's going to be conjunct the South Node. So this is a shake-up about your traditional values, your conservatism, and how you can grow your life while keeping the best of the past. You don't have to throw it all out, but some of the programming, yes, you'll have to deal with. And it's all about intense inner healing, and it's with a view to growing. So you may look at spirituality, philosophy, you may look at travel, perhaps dealing with people from other countries. So that's pretty exciting. On the 7th, Venus enters Cancer down here. So Venus in your 5th house brings a beautiful, affectionate, loving energy, which is fabulous for romance, okay? Venus loves being in this house here. And you've also got Mars there, so it's the male and the female principles together, the divine inner marriage of a sort, okay? You could also look at the moon and the sun for the divine inner marriage, and at some point they will be square, and so there could be some struggles with it, but it's completely possible that the divine inner marriage could take place, so that you have within you the ability to complete and to join with the masculine energy so that you can get stuff done. This is beautiful. If you don't have a partner, you may feel a little moody, or your emotions can fluctuate. The thing to do there is to really nurture yourself and nurture other people, and it's important also that you have beautiful surroundings, because Venus likes that. On the 14th of May, Mercury is in Taurus, and it has been retrograde, but it turns direct. So from the 14th for maybe a week, it's going to be in a shadow period, but you'll find your life going faster and faster. Things start to speed up. Your communications have got more clarity. There's less misunderstandings and things like that. You'll see here in your 3rd house of communications and learning, siblings and local area, there's a lot of conjunctions. All of these planets, they're having a big party here. and they're all moving closely together, and this is going to amplify the energy, so communications become much more important. Jupiter also enters this party, and that is on the 16th of May. It's going to be conjunct the North Node, your destiny, and also the new moon comes in on the 19th. So these three, Jupiter, the North Node, and the new moon, will be conjunct, bringing a positive, life-affirming, life-expanding new beginning around your ideas, you know, what you're thinking, and also around your communications. You may definitely be thinking about studying. You may be doing lots and lots of trips around your local area, meeting people. You could meet somebody important near home, okay? Then on the 20th, Mars enters Leo over here in your 6th house of everyday work, giving you more energy and more vitality. At some point around or after the 20th, maybe a few days after that, it's going to be conjunct Lilith here. Do be careful at work with arguments to do with workmates or customers, particularly women, okay? That's possible. But you could be feeling better physically, like you feel more energetic and you can do stuff in your normal everyday life. Okay, and finally on the 21st, the Sun enters Gemini here, bringing a lot of insight and awareness around your home and family and some happiness. Okay, if things haven't been too good there, it's likely that there'll be an improvement with the Sun smiling on you and your family. Well, that's it, Pisces. That's your horoscope. I hope it's helpful for you. Don't forget, check your moon and rising sign now as well on this video. Most importantly, have a fabulous month, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.